It started with something so small I almost didn't notice it. I was brushing my teeth one night the usual way, standing in front of my bathroom mirror when I leaned in to spit. Out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw my reflection move slightly out of sync. I chalked it up to being tired. It was almost midnight and I had been awake since early morning. But the next night it happened again. This time I watched more closely. I tilted my head to the right and my reflection followed, but maybe a fraction of a second too late. I tried it again, tilted my head left. A slight pause, just enough for my brain to register that something wasn't right. I blinked rapidly and rubbed my eyes. Maybe the lighting was off. Maybe my mind was playing tricks on me. I didn't mention it to anyone. I thought if I did, I'd sound insane. Who complains about their reflection not syncing up? It felt like a joke. But deep down I knew what I saw. Or at least what I thought I saw. By the fourth night, things were worse. I stared into the mirror for almost 15 minutes waiting for it to happen again. And it did. But not just a delay. When I turned away for a second and turned back, I swear, absolutely swear, that my reflection was still looking to the side. Then it snapped forward to match me. I jumped back. My heart was pounding. I ran my hands through my hair, staring into the glass, trying to see some logical flaw. Maybe the mirror was warped. Maybe it was old. But I had lived in this apartment for over 2 years, and it had never acted like this before. That night I slept with the bathroom door closed. The next morning I tried to ignore it. I told myself I'd imagined it all. But as I walked past the mirror, I didn't look at it. I didn't want to see if it was still watching me. That day I worked from home alone in silence. Every few minutes I'd feel this weird sensation, like I was being observed. Not from a window, not from outside, but from inside the apartment. I finally gave in and checked the mirror again around 5 in the evening. This time I moved slowly. I tilted my head right, then left, no delay. I even laughed a little. Maybe I was overreacting. Then as I leaned in closer, something happened that froze me in place. My reflection smiled. I wasn't smiling. I stood there paralyzed, my breath caught in my throat. My reflection smiled, calmly, deliberately, while my own face remained blank with fear. I didn't move and neither did it. It just kept that twisted half smile, like it was mocking me, like it knew I'd finally noticed. I blinked, once, twice, and when I opened my eyes the third time, the smile was gone. My reflection matched me again perfectly. I wanted to believe it never happened, but I knew what I saw. I backed out of the bathroom slowly, never turning my back to the mirror. That night I covered it with an old blanket. I didn't care how paranoid it made me look. Something about that glass felt wrong now, like there was something inside it that wasn't supposed to be there. I tried to avoid the bathroom entirely for the rest of the night. I even brushed my teeth in the kitchen sink, using my phone's front camera instead. At least with that, I knew what I was seeing was real. No delay, no creepy smile. But then just after midnight, I heard a sound. A soft thud, then a second one. It came from the bathroom. I froze in my bed, every muscle in my body tensing up. Another thud, heavier this time, like something falling to the floor. I told myself it was nothing. Maybe the blanket slipped off and knocked something down. I didn't want to check. I really didn't, but my curiosity got the better of me. I grabbed a flashlight and crept down the hallway. The door was slightly ajar, even though I was sure I had closed it earlier. I pushed it open slowly. The blanket was on the floor. The mirror was uncovered, and in the mirror, there was something else. I couldn't see it clearly at first, just a dark shape, standing directly behind my reflection. A silhouette. Taller than me, thin, motionless. I spun around instantly, but no one was there. I looked back at the mirror. The silhouette was gone. My reflection was normal again. I didn't sleep that night. I sat in the living room with all the lights on, staring at the bathroom door. I could feel something shifting. Something watching me, not just through the mirror, but through every reflection in the apartment. My TV screen, the glass in the microwave, even my phone when it was off. It felt like I had invited something in without realizing it, and now it wasn't going to leave. The next day, I did something I hadn't done in years. I called in sick. I didn't care how it looked. I barely slept and my hands were still shaking when I picked up the phone. I told my boss I had the flu. That was easier than explaining that I thought a mirror was trying to mess with me. I stayed in bed until noon, afraid to walk past any reflective surface. Every time I glanced at my phone screen or passed by the black TV, I'd catch a flicker of movement I couldn't explain. Nothing clear, nothing obvious, just enough to make me doubt my senses. By early afternoon, I covered every mirror, every screen, even the microwave door. I pulled the TV cord from the wall. I taped paper over my laptop webcam. My apartment looked like a paranoid person lived there. And maybe that's exactly what I had become, but it made me feel safer for a while. Around 4:30, I got a message from my sister. Just a simple text, "You okay? You've been quiet lately." I started typing a reply, something light, but then I stopped. The phone camera caught my eye. My own reflection was staring back at me, but not quite right. It blinked before I did. I dropped the phone and backed away. My pulse pounded in my ears. I stared at the screen as it lay on the floor, face up. My reflection still staring, still smiling. My real face was pale with fear, jaw clenched, but the one on the phone, calm, amused. I powered it off. I couldn't breathe. That evening, I went to a hardware store and bought black spray paint. When I got home, I sprayed over the mirror in the bathroom. Thick layers. No more hiding it. I didn't care about damage or my security deposit. I just didn't want to see it anymore. But around midnight, something knocked. 3 soft knocks on my bedroom door. I live alone. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I waited. Nothing. I tiptoed to the door, pressed my ear against the wood. No sound. I slowly opened it. The hallway was dark. The lights were off, though I'd left them on earlier. My apartment was completely silent, yet I felt the air shift, like someone had just walked past me. I turned on every light again, room by room, and that's when I noticed it. The spray paint on the mirror, it was smeared, not like it dripped, like someone had wiped a hand across it. Long, streaky finger marks from the inside. I haven't touched that mirror since. I wish I could say it stopped after that night, that things went back to normal. But they didn't. In fact, the worst part came after I started pretending everything was fine. For a few days, I ignored the mirror entirely. I kept the bathroom door shut. I didn't check my reflection, not even in my phone. I used only the back camera, avoided screens unless I had to. It helped a little, until one evening, when I went to brush my teeth in the kitchen. I glanced at the window above the sink, not out of it, but into it. And for a split second, I saw my reflection again. Only I wasn't standing in the same position. My real arms were by my sides, but the reflection's hands were pressed against the glass, like it was trying to get through. That night I started hearing whispers, not loud, faint, like someone talking through water. It came from the bathroom, then from the TV, then from behind me when I looked into my dark phone screen. Always the same voice, my own voice, whispering things I couldn't quite understand. Until one night I finally did. It whispered, "Let me out." That was the moment I realized this wasn't about a haunted mirror. This wasn't just a ghost story. Whatever it wasn't stuck in the mirror. It was waiting for me to look too long, to give it control. The next day I packed a bag and left. I didn't tell anyone. I stayed at a friend's place for a while, someone who had no mirrors in the guest room. I felt safe again, normal even. But 2 weeks later, I got a text from my landlord. He asked if I had ever painted over the bathroom mirror. He seemed upset. I ignored it. I didn't want anything to do with that place again. Then I got another message. It was a photo. He must have scraped the paint off. The mirror was clear again. And in the photo, I saw myself, or what looked like me, standing in the reflection, smiling, but not taking the picture. I hadn't been back since I left. I never went back inside that apartment. So whoever was in that photo, it wasn't me.